live, it says. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're almost live on my side. There we go. We are live. Yay. This is Sue Greenwald with Awakened Stories, and I'm here today with the one and only, the real dun 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 da, John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I am doing awesome, Sue. It's always a wonderful day when you text me and say you want to do a live. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Got to get the message out there. Got to keep at people because the more people that see this, the more they share it, the more understanding there is about what's happening out there. And I've got to say, it feels like people are just starting to wake up out there. What's it feel
Yeah,
like to you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Um, for some reason, right here on Facebook, we are breaking the ice. I hope we're breaking the ice, and they don't have me on a special server and just making it look like I'm getting all these followers when I'm not. But yeah, I've been getting 1,000 followers a day on Facebook, and I'm encouraging the Lions to keep sharing so we can have the biggest channel on Facebook there is. That would be awesome.
It would
I
be a
can't
lot.
stop sharing my story. I'm in this for life. When I started sharing my story a few years ago, I knew I could be unalived, and I was taking the chance. It was like I was ill. I didn't even know I would be alive this long. I really, really didn't. And I thank everybody for their prayers and King Smarty and everybody, you, the Lions for all their prayers and everything. I'm still here. I keep going every day. Yeah, I seen a picture of me all buff and you know I look like a warrior and I'm like, man, I can't even get up when I sit down on the ground sometimes.
I saw that picture. I was like, whoa, that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm so happy the Lions look at me that way. I really do, but
Yeah.
um I'm more into reality and I'm in it for life. I can't quit. I got to get my story out. The story needs to go world. It's war right now. It's us against them. It's truth against lies and deception by our very own government. They won't bring my story out. They have bought up all mainstream media and they're using what they have bought out. You know, whenever you have a war and there's a takeover, first thing they go to is the television stations and the radio stations and take them out
Right.
because they are corrupt. They're what Donald Trump uses to gain all his followers with all of his lies and deception.
And 1 minute in, here we go. Sorry, I had to make it fun.
Where are we live at on are we live on YouTube, Steve?
We are live on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are on Facebook here, want to join me and Sue, go to Sue Greenwald Awakened Stories on YouTube, and you can watch us. Basically, I just got my camera on. We're doing a show on my PC, and I turned you guys on
Yep.
Facebook just so we could get that many more viewers to hear the truth of what we're
Right.
sharing.
Right. Right. So, as we always say, this story is of global importance because John, the reason why we're drawing him as buff, all like ripped and all that, is he has been incredibly courageous. Like, look at you. If you read Stolen Identity, you get a glimpse of his life, like what he went through as a child, mostly, and it is shocking, shocking. And I wonder how well the rest of us would have endured all that. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're still here, you're
Dang it. Maybe we can get Sue back on. Sue just got froze up. We try to tell the truth and get the truth out. And like I said,
starting to
mainstream
break
media.
through the ice.
Yeah, Sue, you froze up for about a minute there.
Of course I did.
Yeah, I was just telling everybody on Facebook that's how they do it.
Yep.
Um, I've got one of those smart meters on my electric panel out here.
Yeah.
I've done 3 videos on YouTube, and they turned my power off just long enough to turn my PC off. 3 times I went live on YouTube, and each time my power flashed 3 times, 3 videos, and it's like I'm ready to get rid of that smart meter.
Yeah. Well, we know that they put them on there so that they can radiate us. You know what I mean? That's not a healthy thing anyway.
I've seen
So,
videos on that. People actually put tin foil over them and things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that,
And there's
but they
also
charge.
they're kind of like a Faraday, like a cover that you can put over your meter. It's kind of like this metallic material. And you can do that because that EMF, that radiation is not healthy for you. And of course, they want it, especially if you've had the vax and you have all that stuff in your bloodstream, they want to amplify that. The effects are amplified much quicker. So that's why wearing the pendants is helpful, but okay, so I've got John Jr.'s pendant here. You probably can't see it very clearly because of the glare. Sorry. There you go. See
Stolen
his face?
identity pendant right there.
Yeah. So
And
wearing the pendant.
those are for sale, and they sure help out the cause on the website.
Yeah, yeah,
You got a pendant, and that's me on the pendant. They're
yep,
collector's item. We're going to get the story out. We're going to get the truth out. We're going
yep,
to go world. And there was only 1,000 of those made, so they'll be a collector's item if you get one,
yep,
and they help out the cause.
yep,
You're showing when you're wearing it that hey, I'm helping John get his story out. And King Smarty donated those for me out of the kindness of his heart. He spent thousands of dollars, so
right,
I could make a few bucks.
yep,
And they got King Smarty's logo on the back there, and it's got the little frequency deal in there
right.
for healing and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's a
So
win-win.
each pendant is not only beautiful and a collector's item, and again, it's hard to see with the glare, I think, but they'll be worth a lot, down the road when your story breaks through the mainstream. But they have EMF protection and all sorts of protective frequencies, as well as healing frequencies. So as we've talked, uh,
No volume, Sue. You lost your volume, Sue.
us.
There you go.
Okay, sorry. See, I guess they don't want anything out today. Wow.
It's a good
So,
day. It's a good day when we're hindered, blocked, shadow banned. Um, it just makes us try more to get the story out.
yeah,
We've got, I was telling Robin, we got your flyers, we got bumper stickers, we got buttons, and there was a concert across the river the other day, and it's like Robin was like, we should have went and just handed everybody a bumper sticker. We need to start doing things like that to get
yeah,
the truth out, old school.
yeah, yeah.
And with that said, you guys um hit me up for bumper stickers. You know, if you want a bumper sticker on your car, the quiet journey. um oh, I got one here somewhere.
I've got one.
I'm so unorganized
Had.
too.
Okay. The Quiet Journey.tv. So for those that are new, this is a 1 hour documentary that tells the story of John's life. So if you don't want to read, if you don't want to buy the book or whatever, this is a quick and easy way to get the story, to get the overview of the story. And it's excellent. It's so well done, so beautifully done. They just did a great job for you. So,
And you know, when I was in church, I always hated at the end of how they had to pass the plate around to everybody.
yeah,
um that always bummed me out. So I feel like when I hold this up that I'm trying to pass the plate around. But if you can see that, that's the stolen identity pendant right there. That's the bit. Sue has a small one, and they come in 5 colors. But you can
yeah,
check them out on the website,
yeah,
the real
yeah.
John F.
Oh,
Kennedy Jr.
there we go.
dot com. And with that said, there's a lot of fake websites, a lot of fake channels on Facebook. Um, Again, yesterday somebody on a fake Facebook was asking somebody for money. I will never ask you for money. If you buy a book, I make a couple dollars. If you buy a pendant, I make a couple dollars. That helps pay my bills, buy gas. But I'm not going to make a fake account of me saying, hey, give me some money.
Right.
That ain't happening. I was telling somebody yesterday, you know, when me and my son were down on our luck and didn't have money for cigarettes, we would go to the grocery store. You know, people walk in the grocery store, they throw their cigarette before they go in. So you can get, you know, brand new cigarettes. I would go pick those up and smoke those before I would come up to somebody smoking a cigarette and say, "Can I have one of your cigarettes?" That's not my style. It never has been my style because you know, you think about John Kennedy Jr. picking up a cigarette on the ground and smoking it. But I've been smoking for so long when I don't have a cigarette, I pull my hair out. I Jones. I like have a bad attitude, so I'd rather just keep smoking. But
Well,
that's my style. So just remember
right.
Facebook right here live. That's me. That's the only Facebook I got. TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account no more. TikTok shut me down. 45,000 followers. I was gaining 1,000 followers a day. They removed me because my story's so huge. It's the biggest story. But all these, um, you know, internet mainstream media, they don't want this story out to no one. So if you are lucky enough to hear my story, please share my story. We're going old school. And I'm rambling again, Sue. I'm just trying to get the truth
No,
out to the world. And
no.
while I'm sharing that book, Sue just wrote this book, and that's me and my father. Yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
That's me and my father,
yeah.
and
Yep.
right there on the back. If you screenshot that, that'll take you right to the website. So Sue just finished this not too long ago. She's still waiting on copies. If you go to the website, she's taking orders right now. And then when the books get here, she's going to send them out. Amazon does not want you to know what's in this book. There's too much truth to it. My other two books, Stolen Identity and The Historian's Tale, read the reviews on Amazon. We're not getting any reviews on The Historian's Tale. I think there's 11, but they're 5 stars. And the only reason why this one isn't 5 stars and a bestseller is because it's hindered. And the haters, the Trumpers, the people that have been struck in the head by this book with the truth can't handle the truth. You all remember the saying, "You can't handle the truth." Well, there's a lot
Yeah,
of people out there that can't because
yeah.
we're smacking you right in the face with the truth. I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. That's me. I play with dolls. I play with dolls. Look at that doll. Does that look like the John Kennedy Jr. the whole world knew, Mr. Pretty Boy? They kidnapped me. They replaced me when I was a child, um, right around 15 years old. Somebody found a wonderful picture of me and Farah, um, and I posted it on Facebook. But me and you did a video about Farah, and I said I was talking with Farah, and we were talking about organized crime in Hollywood, and she was so disgusted with the control the mob had on her. She was like almost in tears. And she said, "All I ever wanted was a family, a little house with a picket fence." And I've said the same thing ever since me and her talked. And that's what she wanted. But they had her in control. And when the mob's in control of you, when you're a star, they tell you who to marry. They put you together. Lee Majors and her, that was a total setup. You know, you get the Hollywood stars together, you get all this money coming in from all your movies, Charlie's Angels, all this stuff. And then the mob tells you how to spend your money. But she knew what was going on. And I was really surprised because the picture has a bottle of Jim Beam and Coke. And when we walked in the room where Farrah was at, I think she'd been drinking pretty heavily too, and smoking cigarettes. But there's a Jim Beam and Coke sitting there next to me, and I didn't like it. I love it now, but when I was probably 14 or 15 then,
Right.
and you know, I sipped it, but it was like I really didn't care for whiskey. I don't even care for beer. If I have a beer, I can sip on it, but I really don't like it. And a beer will last me all night longer until it gets so hot out. But I'm not a heavy drinker. But yeah, that's my Farrah Fawcett story.
Right.
I went home back to the Quigleys, and hung my Farrah Fawcett poster on the wall. Um, just another thing I was proud. I met Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah. She
But
was,
I met so many stars like that. Like I said, at one point, I think they were building me up to be the mob boss. Um, they wanted me to meet everyone they had control over. So I met so many stars, and then my Hollywood career that was stolen. Like Doris Day and all these other movie stars. Um, David Carradine. I was watching an old movie yesterday, and it's family. It was all from the old westerns. Um, that's where the Hollywood was really going. But you get fathers and sons and daughters, and then they become movie stars. It's a little cult. Um, and yeah, somebody had mentioned they had killed David Carradine. That's what brought that up.
oh,
I knew him. I knew so many people. Um, yeah, it's crazy the control the mob has on Hollywood.
it is crazy. And we're seeing it more and more and more and more out there in society. Like people are starting to wake up. I think that the things we're seeing in the news or on TV or whatever are not real. They're not true. And I think it's good. I mean, that's what needs to be done. It needs to be shown to the people, and then we hopefully will learn from it. And the problem is, people are so dug into their position of what we've been taught. It's been so indoctrinated into our way of thinking, they can't understand that there might be another thing that happened, that maybe what they're watching isn't even real. And how much the manipulation is, right?
Oh yeah, and a lot of people say, "Oh, witness protection," and these people are still alive. I lived it, and I can tell you there is no witness protection unless you're family, unless you have a lot of money to pay them to put you in Whitford. It's all about money. So when people say, "Oh, he's in Whit," no, they don't mind unaliving someone and stealing their money. That's what they did to my family. I'm trying to share that to the world. They unalive people and steal their money. It's a lot of these people back when I was, growing up, I was taught by Vietnam vets. I was taught by Hell's Angels, and most of them were Vietnam vets. Many of my good brothers have passed away now from Agent Orange and every other thing, but they taught me.
Yeah.
And when I was in Vietnam, I saw a lot of unalives, and some of these guys don't care. They have no conscience. It's like it's just a life. But to me, a life is a life. Um, Even the haters, um, and the hate comments I get from these people, I still, they're human beings. They have their voice. Sometimes I wish they wouldn't be so rude and every other thing, but it's all we're all here for a short time. Our lives are only so long, and we're all stuck on this planet. Let's just get along. We need to stop all these wars and all the hate and make it better for all of us. But we got to get rid of the satanic cult that's in our government. We need to eliminate the evil that all they think about is the money and the power and the sex and the drugs and the more power. And the government we have and has had since my father was executed by these people is awful. It's horrendous. It really is.
Right, right, right. Well, let's talk a little bit about censorship. So we're censored every single time. And, we've been, even today in this video, we've been pixelated and the line has gone dead and you can't hear what we're saying. And they're just messing with us. It's just annoying. Okay. It's not going to stop us. But for
No,
the book that I wrote, I spent a fair amount of time, several months, basically compiling all the stories you've told us. Okay. So these are not my stories, they're yours. And I put your name on the book because this is your story, right? My account, well, at first with Amazon, they just said, oh, sorry, we're not publishing the book, but they said it in a nastier way. And then they've already taken my account down with the self-publishing company is called KDP. They took it down and said, I will never be able to publish with them at all, no matter what account I use. I'm like, fine. It kind of
Oh,
like all I did was put up what, you're trying to say, right? Your stories, that's how much they don't want that story out.
yeah. And with everybody, I see Sweet Honesty making lots of comments. Thank you. You're awesome. But you people on Facebook, we are live on YouTube right now on Sue Greenwald's channel,
Yep.
Awakened Stories. That's why you hear Sue, but you see me. And
Yeah.
please check it out there. If you're new and you see this video, please follow me. Please I want the biggest
Yeah.
channel to get the truth out on Facebook, and we're getting there.
Yeah.
I've been sharing. I made a video yesterday, day before, got 1,000 new followers, got 1,000 new followers. And here a few more followers. We're gonna have another 1,000. I believe we're up to 43,000. You Lions are freaking awesome. I
Awesome.
appreciate all your shares, your videos, mostly your prayers. I really do, because we're gonna get it out.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be hindered, and we're going old school. There was a guy that has a channel on Facebook, and everybody loves him. He's got all kinds of viewers. He really does got a lot of followers, and he just made a comment on my Facebook. He said, "I like you. You shoot straight from the hip." He said, "No bullshit."
Yeah.
And I commented back. I said, "That means a lot coming to you, because I've seen his videos, and he shoots straight from the hip too.
Yeah.
He don't mess around."
Yeah.
So my story's getting out to a lot of people, which is cool. But Facebook, Sue Greenwald's Awakened Stories, right on YouTube. Go to YouTube, check us out there, and you'll see both of us. We might get froze up or hindered or blocked for a minute, but we'll come back.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about why this story is so important. All right. And maybe for the new people, we can do an overview of the story, but why is it so important that people know this?
Because they need to know that, they all see our country going downhill. They really do. They went to Donald Trump via his photo ops and his money, his advertising, so they could hear his lies and his stories. But they really went to Donald Trump thinking there's actually going to be a savior this time to save our country, because they all see the country going downhill. But I'm sharing my story that they're organized crime, and all they care about is themselves, and they're willing to unalive people to keep that power in our government, so they can keep going, so they can keep unaliving people, keep stealing people's money. But they love control of us. And this country will never, ever come up to the greatness it should be when we have these evil, satanic people running the country. It's never going to be better ever until we get rid of the United States government that we have now, that has allowed all these evil people to be rulers over us.
Right.
We must get rid of them. You all hear the Epstein files. I share my files all the time, my father's files. They do things like JFK files. What you got, what you heard, is not the real files. The real files is the mob was taking over the Kennedy family, CIA, FBI, the mob that runs the United States government was taking over the power of Washington. They unalived my father, they unalived my uncle, but secretly they unalived the rest of my loved ones to take over that power of the Kennedys. That was their plan. You don't hear that on Donald Trump releasing those files, because it's all covered up. And now they're the big stall for the Epstein files. The big stall. Why? Because they got their crew sitting back there changing them right fucking now.
Right. Right.
I'm sharing in my files. I lived it. I was tortured. I was put in a dog cage. I had to do sex acts to people so they could say, "You see what the son of this assassinated president just gave me? Yeah, crazy sex acts." That's what they do to children. Why do they have child trafficking and use children? Because these people brainwash these children. They make them do sex acts, crazy shit, so they can build up an army. And you can see it now with Trump's organization that he has. These women that are put, Kirk, Charlie's wife is right there. She was thrown out of a country. You know, everybody knows Charlie. Well, that was all BS. But you got his wife thrown out of Romania for trafficking children. It's all one big satanic club, people, and you need to wake up because they put it in your face where you cheer them. You wave your flags for the evil doers, and they do the evil and they get off on it. They really do.
Yeah.
If they do an evil deed, they post it on the internet everywhere because they want you to see what they got away with. And they're sitting back going, I killed that son of a bitch and put it right all over for the whole world to see. And
Right.
you're cheering on and they get off on it. That's the satanicness of it. I'm sorry, I'm rambling again, Sue.
No, so let's talk about the incident. We have to be careful for censorship purposes, but the wife that we're seeing out there is not even the original. Okay, so she's already been replaced. All right.
Yeah, a lot
So
of people say Charlie is alive. Um, that would be great because I don't like to see anybody unalive. But I believe this was so planned out that Charlie was unalived earlier. That's my theory. They took him out earlier. They removed Charlie, and they got these CIA masks to make. I'm sure, I'm not sure, but they got they got masks that are so
yeah,
precise you
yeah,
can't tell. The shooter, the guy coming up the stairs, that it's all Hollywood bullshit, people. But I believe Charlie was unalive earlier.
yeah, yeah.
They don't mind taking somebody out. Um, when
So it
when
makes your point that it's so important for us to know this, that they are controlling us through these false flag events. They're
photo
replacing
ops, false
people.
flag events, I
Yeah.
believe Donald Trump's assassination, fake assassination attempt. And when I say fake, that was planned. People say, well, what about the people that were unalive? They don't care about lives. They plan these events and they take out people they didn't want around in the first place. They unalive, I think it was a fireman or whatever. But anyway, it was fake, but that part was real. Somebody, you're watching a movie that I don't know what you would call it on a set, um, you know, like a concert or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it, but
Yeah.
it's actually happening, but it's staged, a staged event.
Yeah.
But the firefighter really died. He's really dead. He's not coming back. But the Donald Trump thing was fake. It was all fake. Why? Because it was on every single news channel in the world for day after day after day, programming everybody to believe it was real. So when people went to vote, it was already in their mind. I'm voting for Donald Trump. Somebody just tried to kill him. He's got to be the best man in the whole world. But it was a movie. And I don't know how many of you watch a movie and you actually think it's real. They want you to think that movie's real. They suck your mind into your TV set and you're going, I'm there. That's real. But it's bullshit. They are acting that, and they've been programming us for a long time. I was on the show 1 out of 12 as a child. I'm the kid with the in the bars. I was on the show Emergency. There's a show called Dragnet. The same people that did the show Dragnet did 1 out of 12. Well, here's how the programming works. On the show Dragnet, you see the show, you watch the show, you get into the show. It's a half-hour show, but you really get into this show. The cops, arresting people, busting. At the end of the show, they say, this is real. Names have been changed, but what you just saw is real. Now, how the fuck do you know that's real? Because they told you so? No, it's Hollywood. It could have been a made up story or a part of a real story, but it was not real. What you just saw was not real. It was Hollywood actors. The same thing with 1 out of 12. One out, anti pot, take him to jail. He was found with a roach. Now pot's legal. But even on 1 out of 12, they'll say the stories you just heard were real. Names have been changed to protect the innocent. No, it was all bullshit, but they were programming everybody that saw that show every night that it played, the story's real. So everybody's going, that was all real. But no, it was not real. It was television actors. And they program us like that each and every day. They want to suck your head right into that TV and get you there. That's their plan. So when you see a photo up of Donald Trump, you're sucked right in. You're
Right.
going to the freaking polls and casting your vote for a Hollywood actor wearing a freaking mask. And you people need to wake up to that. You really, really need to wake up to that, because that hate is placed there by our Secret Service to take your money, to steal from you, to steal from everyone they can, to keep their little cult, satanic cult, in power and wealth and money.
Right.
They love that caviar, people. They love that champagne, and they don't mind us trying to hustle food stamps.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. All of it. So, so John basically was put in witness protection. We're going to put air quotes around that. Tortured, raped. You had a very transient lifestyle. So you'd go with once in a while. You'd go with your mom. You'd go with Wayne here or there. You'd go to Hollywood. You'd meet famous people, but you. I guess the big point is you'd see a lot of murders and things
Yeah,
through
I
organized
learned so
crime.
much. See, the
Yeah.
Quigleys, the name the government gave me, David Keith Quigley. My mother and father gave me the name John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. But after my father was assassinated, after my uncle was assassinated, the Secret Service that was supposed to be protecting us was setting us all up to steal the billions of Kennedy dollars. They were using dental work, plastic surgery. They replaced me, my mom, and my sister. That made them billions of dollars for organized crime. For the organized crime in our Secret Service spread out through the FBI, CIA, that's who killed my father and my loved ones and covered it up. People say, why didn't you come out? Why didn't I come out? Am I stupid? I mean, come on. Would you come out if Bill Clinton, if was best friends with, everybody knows John, the man that stole my identity. He's hanging out in the Oval Office with Bill Clinton. You want me to come? Hey guys, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. This guy, how long would I have lived? Seriously, 5 fucking minutes. I mean, it does. I've learned it takes our government a little while to prepare a killing. It really does. But the more people that hear my story, the more I got to be cautious of sharing my story. And that's why I'm counting on each and every one of you to follow me, share my story. It helps keep me alive, people. It really, really
Right.
does.
Right.
People say, "Are you?" No, I'm not afraid to die. Me and God have a thing, and I'm not afraid to go meet God. I've actually been dead before and revived and brought back, so I've already talked to God. Anytime I'm facing a life situation, I go back to when I was unalived and I was talking to God. Prayers work, but yeah, um, I count and rely on the Lions to share my story, to get it out. The more, the better. Right now, and we're working on the fourth book from Lanny Lewis. We'll be working on that soon as soon as we get all. I get so busy too. I really. But yeah, I think they're thinking now if they unalive me now, it'll be like a Charlie Kirk thing. I think all you lions would stand up and scream at the top of your lungs. They just unalive John, and then they would really be screwed. So hopefully we can do it the hard way, work a little harder, and get it out, and I won't have to be unalive to get my story out. But
In my book, I think there were 28 attempts at killing you. So I have a chapter in there called Brushes with Death, 28 that I know of through just us talking. And I'm sure there must be more that you haven't even remembered yet, or you didn't recognize at the time. So
Sue just froze up on
28
again.
attempts. Ooh,
28.
yep. Plus the plane crashes on top of that.
And
So
those were attempts on my life also.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
I know many that were unalived. People in our government,
yeah.
they use planes. All the rich people fly their own planes and helicopters, and they run, the FAA. They run the skies. So it's really easy for them to cover up a plane crash that
Yep.
was actually a murder.
Yep.
John Walton, Sam Walton's son, died of a plane crash. You had the COVID thing, and then Kobe Bryant that helped spread the virus, or rallied America around. That was a setup. I had a federal agent send me the real video of Kobe Bryant's crash,
Oh.
and I watched it 20 times. 20 times I watched Kobe Bryant die, and then it just was removed from my YouTube. But somebody actually sent me the footage of some hikers caught Kobe Bryant's crash on film, and I watched it over and over again. It was, to me, it was a definite, the tail
Yep.
rudder blew up. It showed the tail rudder blowing up. I was looking for a missile, um, but it was kind of like, if you've ever watched these old movies, where the kid cuts the stair, you got a wood step, and he
Yeah.
cuts it almost all the way through, and then somebody steps on it and it falls through and they break their leg or whatever. Um, they do things like that. They really do when it comes to plane crashes. Um, if anybody wants to know how George was killed, and he's not alive, he's dead, and his wife and his wife's sister are dead, but it was a quarter placed in the steering mechanism. These people are so smart. They really are. And they're proud of the killings that they do, but they like to advertise. George Onassis was his real name. He killed somebody he shouldn't have killed. The mafia found out about it, so they killed him. You, that's the eye for an eye scenario in organized crime. You do us as bad, we're going to do you badder. But they used a quarter to take him out. His real name was George. George Washington is on the quarter. He did not name his magazine George because of George Washington. He named it after himself and put a magazine out to the whole world. That's how the cabal works. I've said that earlier in this video. That's how they work. His name was George. He made a magazine and put his real name out there. I stole John Kennedy's identity. My real name's George, but I made millions and millions of dollars doing it. So I'm just going to put it out there in your face and draw the satanic energy and vibes off of that. But yeah, they killed him with a quarter.
Think of
Um,
think of it this way too. Think of this. He was the son of Aristotle Onassis, one of the richest guys on the planet, like a multi-billionaire, who was into organized crime. So he was born into organized crime, kind of hidden behind the scenes, and then he pops up to take over your life. So now that organized crime family has access to the Kennedy funds
yeah,
as well as the Onassis funds.
that makes you wonder if Aristotle Onassis, because Aristotle Onassis was a mob boss. He really was. So that makes you wonder if Aristotle Onassis had something to kill, killing with my father. Oh, we'll kill his father, and then we'll adopt him and into our family. But Aristotle Onassis lost his life to our Secret Service also, and they stole his billions of dollars. They're ruthless. If there's
Right.
money, they don't mind doing a little work,
Yeah.
and because it's worth it. Is
Yeah.
they pre-plan to unalive someone, they carry that out, and they make billions of dollars. Organized crime, excuse me,
And
is
think
making
of it,
billions of dollars doing what they do.
we're talking billions with a B. So people can be
Probably
bought off.
trillions. I imagine trillions.
Labs can be bought off. Like people can be bought off so easily or threatened,
You can
made
buy
to
a
comply.
whole town. I've seen the town of Coarsegold and Oakhurst be bought. I was raised in Coarsegold, all the way to my school teachers being cabal. They all are a secret service, secret society. They are put in your schools to teach your children to watch things, how the kids operate. Um, they put in the coroners, they put in the sheriffs. They are all, kind of like the Masons. Every town you go to, you see a little Mason sign before you get into that town. They're saying, hey, this is our town. Every
Oh,
single town you drive around this country and you see one of those Mason, they're basically telling you their secret society owns that town.
Wow.
So they own the sheriffs. Like I said, they own the coroners. If there's a motel in there, they'll buy the motel. They'll put who they want at the front desk.
Yeah.
And then if you notice all the towns, they have the Burger Kings and the McDonald's and the Taco Bells and the Long John Silvers and the Arby's all in the same spots. These towns are planned. And if you're an outsider, I have seen outsiders come to Yosemite Lakes Park and say, "We're looking for so and so. We haven't seen so and so in a long time." And I had a car pull up to me when I was a kid, and they were saying it, and they're like, "This place creeps me out. Let's just get out of here."
Oh.
Because if you've ever seen those scary movies where you go to this town and they're all axe murderers and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but they purposely Yosemite Lakes Park when I was a kid was supposed to be a safe zone. There was entrances, there was a front gate, there was a back gate. There was actually two back gates and then another front gate, but they didn't use this other front gate. But what they would do is they would put their people at the gates, at each gate. These were nice homes, 250 up to $1 million or more dollars for these homes. And this was in the 70s. But they put their members at the gate. So anybody that drives by, if the boss man calls up and say, "Hey, we're looking for a purple car," there's only one exit for that purple car to go out. And then they're planted, people are planted in this community. And I believe there was 52 miles of road in this little community. But they organized it, they planned it. So if somebody came in, they put their organized crime members where they couldn't come out. If they didn't want you out, you would not come out. They
Wow.
were in control once you drove your car in.
Wow.
And I've
So
seen a lot. I've seen a lot.
So you're saying if you are just on a road trip, for example, and you drive through a town and they've got a mace, like you know how they'll say Rotary Club meets every Wednesday,
Yeah,
Masons, blah blah blah. That's a sign that the Masons own that town. Is
yeah,
that what you're saying?
yeah. And every town.
Yeah.
And how they work is, let's say you're a roofer. They did this to me. You're a roofer, you're trying to make $1. Well, you're not in their club. So the roofer that's in their club gets all the rubs. If you try to start doing rubs in that community, they'll make it hard for you. They own the city, the guy that writes the permits, the building permits, and this and that. They already own him. So that's how they control everything. If you're a plumber and you want John Kennedy's Roto-Rooter service, and you try to start a business in that town, but they already have two plumbers that are masons, you're going to go out of business. They will see that you go out of business
Yeah.
because it's all over their members and their club members. And that goes from plumbers to roofers to, appliance, every single thing they own that town. And when you got big money, you can own just about any town.
Right.
You can buy up what you need to buy up so you have total control. And that's what they do. If they want you unalive, if you move into their town and you got lots of money and one of them says, "I like that house, I'm going to take that house," they'll take your house, they'll take your life, they'll take your house. They will.
Wow. Yeah. And so what you're saying is they take what they want. They're very good planners. And again, when the general population doesn't even know about these plans, they don't even know that this is a thing.
Yeah.
It's so easy to pull the wool over
And then they
our
got the
eyes.
sheriff,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get pulled over. They use the system against you. You can't find work. So then they have the sheriff, and then you got these fines,
Yeah.
and then you can't pay the fines, and then you get more jail time. They can ruin somebody's life with the
Yeah.
system we have in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And they use that system. And people are blinded how they do it. But I've seen it from the ground up. I really have.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's important that the people recognize this. They open their eyes, they see what's happening, and then we can take action, right? Like we want these guys out of our lives, out of control of our country, our lives, our money, our health, our education, like every system, the food production, every system is controlled by them. And is it for our
I,
benefit or our health? No, it's about
I've seen satanic ceremonies. I've seen Mason ceremonies and what they do. Um, they have the power of MK Ultra and every other thing.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I'm always counting on these secret societies to be good-hearted and not do the evil that they have the power to do. I really do. You know, my idea was these secret societies were actually to put into place to fight evil. So they own everything, and when they see evildoers coming in,
yeah,
they can handle it, they can manage it, they can take care of the evil. Um, that's what needs to happen in these secret societies. They need to start taking care of the evil within their society and not letting it spread out.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I always pray and hope that's what happens.
Well, like you said, Max and Dorothy would go to church with the family, right? So they would do all these evil things, like horrible and despicable things. But
The
then they'd go to
this
church and act like they were like these upstanding citizens, which is
Oh
what a
yeah.
lot of churches have actually. Like we're seeing
Yeah,
that now.
there's so much evil in the churches.
Yeah,
They will put these churches in the towns that they own, that they run these towns, but they'll put their church in there. And just like the Quigleys, we have to go to church every Sunday. We got to put on our good clothes, go to church,
yeah,
even though the satanic members are hiding there. They're working the people in the church, getting to know them, how they live, and they love fucking poison. They really, really do. But yeah, that um oh, what's that when they not castrated me, but made it where I
the,
couldn't
va-
have children.
the vasectomy.
Vasectomy.
Yeah.
They gave me a vasectomy, and that was at a church service. Bow your head and pray, chloroform. Everybody's got their eyes closed. Let's do a vasectomy on John on the kitchen table. You know, the Secret Service doctors come in, do their little number.
So you were in church when they chloroformed you?
I was at the Quigley's house, and the Quigleys were having an ice cream social.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so I think you said the
they got
story.
all these young members to show up there that they were introducing into the cabal and
Wow.
their little crime family. And yeah, while I'm getting my operation and getting drug upstairs and put on an IV because they had me asleep for 2 weeks. They have their little sex things. They have their well, he's going to marry Lisa Quigley. Let's have her a train, a gangbang, whatever you want to call it, with all these other kids. We'll let these kids have sex with her. It's a cult, and they use sex and drugs and money and murder
Yeah. Yeah.
to scare these people into talking. They really do.
Yeah. I don't think anyone watching this wants this. So that's why it's so important for us to understand it. And
A
like I
lot of
said,
people don't realize what I'm sharing, how important it is,
yeah.
because these secret societies. Um, I learned when I was young about secret societies that will get together and have these families, and a lot of the children in their families have been trafficked to them. Um, Hollywood's into that big time. When you see a movie and a woman's pregnant, they have those pregnant suits. A lot of these women in these secret societies will wear these pregnant suits, and they'll like all the neighbors think that she's really going to have a baby, and then a child's trafficked into their family, and then raised. I forgot what we were talking about, Sue,
Well,
but
we see that in Hollywood all the time. Like we know, especially when they're transgender or whatever, right? Or all right, or
that's huge
inverted.
in Hollywood.
Yeah, inverted, and then they'll say so and so is pregnant. It's laughable. Like, and I could name three names right now that they're gonna
Yeah, well,
basically
they
bring
push
in.
it.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had me doing sex acts. I think when I was five, around five, I know I was really, really little, when I got stuck in the ass and beat up and everything, but it didn't stop. I was made to do sex acts on people, as I had the panda eyes. Somebody sent me a picture. Henry sent me a picture today of me sitting there, and I had the big circles around my eyes. They were molesting me, and all the way up into the 70s when I was thrown in the dog cage and they took pictures, and it was bad. But the Quigleys were my handlers. I saw a lot of people unalived, um, but they push the gay thing. They really, really do.
Yeah.
They push the sex thing. You know, yeah,
Yeah. And so a lot of people like in politics, Hollywood, entertainment, whatever it might be, influencers are inverted. So if they're biological males, they dress as women and women as men and they act the part, right?
yeah. That's been
And
going on for a very, very long time. I was watching. I love watching old movies because the news and the newer movies. Um, I would rather have old programming in my head, but
right.
even movies from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, even Laurel and Hardy and those kind of things, the old ones, they have guys dressing up as women
Yep.
back then. But they still do it in Hollywood now, even worse.
Yeah.
But even back then, they had guys wearing dresses, and it was kind of a
Yeah.
funny thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you think it's a joke at the time, like way back then, especially, it was funny. It was like, oh my God, how ridiculous, right? But they call it a humiliation ritual,
yeah,
right?
there was a couple times on Halloween. Halloween's coming up too. I've seen some nasty things on Halloween. It's one of those satanic ritual nights. But there was a couple of Halloweens. They dressed me up as a blonde, wearing a dress, long hair, lipstick, that kind of thing.
As a child.
Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. So we're seeing the inverted people having kids, and we know that they're not their biological children. They're taking them from somewhere and like we'll call them raising them as their own, but I'm not really sure that's a good word for that. But they're indoctrinated
yeah.
as well, these little kids.
I always get concerned and worried about others.
Yeah.
I've been trained and to see the deception and how they work. It
Yeah.
bothers me. Like when I started seeing the true colors of Charlie Kirk, his wife, what they did, and then I see pictures of her with the children. I'm like, people ask me for DNA all the time. I would love to see the DNA because if you're kicked out of a country for and accused of
Yeah.
trafficking children, and then our military got involved in all that. But I'm talking about Charlie's family. It makes me wonder if those children that they were raising are part of the cabal that were belonged to someone else, that were actually one of the thousands and thousands of children that go missing in this
Right.
country and other countries every freaking day.
Right. Right. Horrible. Just horrible. And so we're like, so we're hoping that we open more eyes with these videos, right? Get the truth out there of John's story. And then once your eyes are open and you start watching videos, watch your TV or whatever, you're going to start to notice it more and more. You're going to start picking up the clues and you'll realize what we're saying is true. And it has to come out because John is not the only one that this has happened to. I mean,
I'm going
it's
to make a comment on Facebook here. You people on Facebook, me and Sue are live on YouTube, Awakened Stories with Sue Greenwald. Um, for some reason, the last few videos lives I've done, I've only had 34 people watching. But if you guys could hit the share button, I see a wonderful comment on here. So glad you're alive. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Hit that share button. Um, you're awesome. Let's get my story out. Let's make this all worthwhile.
right,
All our time trying to help the world. Please help us out. Just hit the share button. It's
right,
so appreciated. It really
right.
is.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, just and those that watch us, they're here pretty much regularly. We do our
Yeah.
videos roughly once a week now. And you've got some good loyal followers. I can see their stuff on Facebook. They're very committed to what they're doing, trying to get that story down, and it's greatly appreciated. And of course, we notice it. And so if everyone can share the story verbally, hand out the books and give them to people, the libraries, wherever people read, um, you know, um, just share the story, even if it's through social media. That's really
Um,
appreciated.
we have a wonderful, wonderful team of lions.
Yeah.
That's what I call the people that support me and make videos and share the story. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yep.
I love so many of them. And Lanny went to the hospital the other day, and I was like, please pray for Lanny. And she actually had hundreds of people saying prayer, and prayers work, people. The
Yeah.
power of prayer is
Yeah.
huge. Sending that energy to someone that's not feeling good. God sees that. He really does.
It totally
Um,
works.
so yeah, thank you all for that. I
Yeah.
hope Lanny's feeling better. I really, really do. I seen
Yeah.
a comment from Lanny. I think it was earlier today. Maybe it said that she was at work or had been at work. So that's good. If she's
Awesome.
out of the hospital and she's at work, that's awesome. We love Lanny. So she's made some
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful videos to help share the story.
She's excellent at making the video clips and the reels and the graphics and things. She's very, very good at that.
And then
And
there's Henry. Curtis Lowe is Henry. Follow Henry. Follow the Lions. Let's see, support each other.
yes,
There's so many Deanna, Mojo, and so many wonderful lions. If we all follow each other, we can build up an army of warriors of lions for truth, for justice, to get this story out. Because they don't want none of you to know what we're sharing right here. They really, really don't. But if we stick together, if we share each other, if we follow each other, we can build up a wonderful platform, a wonderful army of good, caring people that want a better world, that want to
excellent.
get rid of the evil and want a better life for all of us. All of us. That's what it's
That's
all
right.
about, a better life.
Right. Right. Well, I think what I'm after is just honesty and truth. Okay. So I don't like being lied to. And the more I learn about how complex and how they've planned for these events
Oh,
decades before they happen, they have technology we don't even know about. So that we see
and
it trickling out on the science fiction shows and this and that. But
yeah,
they're like steps ahead of us because we didn't even know they existed years ago. We didn't even know this technology was real years ago. Well, now we know, and now we're seeing it, and now we're catching up.
speaking of wonderful lions, I see Shannon on here. Beautiful lion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I'm losing my voice.
Uh-oh. So
But
Shannon
yeah,
goes
these
down to
people in
Dallas
government,
every
they
weekend.
lie and lie and lie, and people
Yeah.
believe their lies. They don't bother to fact check the lies. But, the people standing at the head of our government, you don't have enough fingers and toes for all the lies they told you just last week. Come on,
Well,
people. You
in
hear
the
a
sense,
liar, you diss yourself from that liar. You hear somebody that's lying, get away from them, but they're still supporting. You don't have enough fingers and toes, and I'll just say it straight out, to believe the lies that Donald Trump has told you just this week. If you have a friend come over and lie to you, that steals from you and lies to you, do you still keep inviting that person into your home? Because that's what they are doing. They are stealing your tax dollars, they are stealing from you, and they're lying to you, telling you how good you got it and how much better it's going to get. So my advice to all these people that believe all those, get away from it. If
yeah.
you want to, if you want to keep inviting a crackhead into your house to keep stealing from you, that's up to you. I just call it
Yeah.
stupidity, though.
It's incrementalism. Okay, so they create a new rule, they turn up the amps. They create a new law, they turn up the amps. They do this, we got to do this, and they're doing this slowly, right? Now, if they did it fast, we'd be like, "Whoa!" But they're doing it slowly so we can adjust. So look at 9/11. Okay, multiple reasons that happened, big reasons. But look, now we have security at all the airports and we comply with the ID check. And now we can't take liquids on board with us. And now we can't do this. And now we've got to be frisked. And now we've got to do this. We get used to
They
it, right?
want us slaves,
Yep,
and they are working on it each and every day to enslave us all,
yep,
to for us to rely on the government so the government can control us even more.
yeah,
And that's their plan. One world order, the rich, the billionaires, the oligarchs, whatever you call them guys. Anyway, the people with the big bread that want to see us struggling.
yeah, yeah. And you know, you watch an older movie, like say from the early 2000s, and they're driving around and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I always think, well, watch out for the cameras. Oh, wait, they didn't have them as much as they do now. There's cameras everywhere. Everyone's got them on their doorbell thing, right? They're on every stoplight or phone pole. Cameras are everywhere. We're being spied on all the time. Facial recognition. We don't even agree with it. We haven't even approved that they can do that to us, and yet they are anyway, right?
Yeah,
So horrible. I don't want that.
right.
Yeah.
I
So
don't like living with cameras everywhere, but
no, no.
I have the lifestyle now. If something happens, I wanted somebody to be able to see what happened.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. You know, most of us, 99% of us, are not doing anything wrong or harmful to others. I mean, there's always those people that are reckless or whatever. And yeah, we don't like that. But the rest of us are just living life, raising our families, trying to survive at this point because they keep upping the amps on us. It's gotten harder and harder, hasn't it? And there's got to be a breaking point. People have to educate themselves as to what's happening and why. Why are they doing this? What's the reason behind it all?
Whenever you have to worry about why, Sue, it goes right back to money,
Yep, money and
money and power.
yep,
They want control of everything.
yeah, yeah. And we are their energetic source for money,
That's
power, and
I
yeah,
figured out a lot of crimes that have been committed just
yeah,
by thinking why. Well, I would go crazy. I really would.
yeah,
Um, when I was driving around, I'd be trying to solve a murder. Why? You usually figure it out if you follow the dollars
yeah,
and where the dollars were
yeah,
going.
yeah,
Um, because the people that get away with murder are usually the ones that don't know how have anything to do with the person that was killed. But when organized crime is so deep, and they don't bother following the money trails or covering up the money trails that they do like they do now,
yeah.
it's huge. But
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like we can see when an event happens and they skip steps, like for example, the person we talked about earlier, Charlie, didn't have an autopsy, right? That's a standards and also they locked the place down, which they would have anyways, but if somebody said, well, such and such happened, they took him right out of there. So
yeah,
they were
it was all a
controlling.
movie. It was
Yep.
all such a big movie. It
Yep.
was all planned. It was all staged all the way um, to his memorial. That went up, so it was all pre-planned.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really was. But the people that were there around Charlie that day were all secret freaking service,
Yeah.
CIA, Secret Service. They were there. They knew what they were doing. You can see the expressions on their
Right.
face.
Of
They
course they
weren't
do.
flipped out. They were under control of the situation, which
Right,
most people wouldn't have been.
right.
They were professionals,
Yeah,
and I've seen that. I've seen it over and over again in my life.
yeah,
So I'm just sharing what my views on it all are. It was all bullshit.
yep,
I like I said over and over. I think Charlie was unalive. Before that, maybe somebody, he kept saying release the Epstein files. I think that had a big thing to do with it. Why he was unalive, because nobody wants the Epstein files out,
yeah,
because the Epstein files are going to, the real ones anyway, are going to name the Clintons and every other thing, the Democratic Party, but they're gonna, it's the same bird.
yep,
The
Yep.
Democrats and the Republicans are the same bird.
Yep.
Uh, Epstein had dirt on all of them on both sides. So yeah, we'll see. But
Yeah.
I got a feeling you ain't gonna get all the real reasons of all the child molestations and underage girls and even boys, and what they do, um, to show they're building up armies of children for the future.
Yeah.
That's what
Horrible,
they do.
horrible stuff. I just couldn't believe that. I think it was in July. They're like, oh, sorry, there's no Epstein files at all. And we're supposed to believe that after, well, years
Yeah.
now of hearing about
And
it, talking about it.
and then one of Trump's Epstein's, is in charge of the JFK files. I mean, come on. You think you're gonna get the real
Yeah.
files
Yeah.
from this freaking click, the cabal click they got going on? And then people believe it. Oh, well, we got the real files. No, come to my channel, see my videos. I'm releasing in short what really, really happened.
Yeah.
And that was a takeover, organized crime takeover with our government agents killed my father. Our government agents killed my uncle. Our government agents replaced me and they killed my loved ones and replaced them. They do a shady, that's the files. That's the real files. They don't want you to know.
Yep.
It's a crime
Yep.
ring.
So if you want to hear more of John's story, I mean, obviously we have videos here and we've been doing videos for like 2 years now. So we're not going through the basic what happened step by step, but the quietjourney.tv is a place for a 1 hour documentary where you can hear that story quickly. And the other books that John has out, Stolen Identity and The Historian's Tale, talk about the story in more detail. Like, I would say start with this one and supplement with this one, right?
And then go to
Fascinating.
Sue's.
Oh, well, yeah, and then start. Yeah. So all this one is the one that is not out yet because of censorship. Quest for Justice is a compilation of what we've talked about for the past couple of years. So I took all the stories and kind of organized them in my way and paraphrased what you said slash used actual quotes, and they're all in here, or what we know of so far, right? So so
Somebody
this
on
is pre.
Facebook mentioned I got to go buy some food and go broke. Yeah, tell me about it.
Well,
It's
here we go
crazy
with
what's
food.
going on in the grocery stores,
Yeah.
and you can thank Donald Trump for that. You really, really
Yep.
can.
Yep.
Don't point your fingers backwards. We need to move forward and fix things and not looking back. They want you to look back. Let's fix our grocery prices. Let's fix the housing prices. Let's fix everything we can and quit worrying about all the stupid shit, people, and demand it. Demand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy.
I feel we're at a good point for wrapping up today. And so, for those new people, please educate yourself, learn about the story, because you're going to be hearing it a lot more. Because this story is breaking through to the mainstream people. Like we have good, loyal people here every week. We're getting out to the masses. So, we need help. We need help.
Somebody's question, John, do you think he's alive? I'm not sure who you're talking about. The real original Donald Trump, I believe he died in 1989. I don't know who you're talking about. The John that replaced me, no, he's dead also. They don't mind unaliving people. A lot of people think all these people are alive on Fantasy Island somewhere. No, they would just be hindered in that way unless they're like blood family members, brothers and sisters. They'll keep them alive. But I'm not sure who you're talking about. If you want to watch me and Sue here later, usually Sue will send me the recorded version. I will share it on YouTube, people, on my YouTube channel. Or you can go to Sue Greenwald's channel, Awaken Stories, subscribe to her channel on YouTube, send her some love, share her channel. We need all the subscribers we can get. Follow me. Let's make this world a better place, people, one share at a time.
Okay.
Love you,
So,
Sue. You're awesome.
thank you. And you're awesome too. And like I said, it took a lot of courage for you to do, your books, to come forward with these videos and persist because it's not, easy or fun. Every day you've got to relive the trauma. But thank you for doing that. And
Oh, yeah. When I wrote this book, it was the biggest achievement of my life. if you figure I'm 64. This came out, I would have been 61 and almost 62 or whatever. It's been out a couple of years now. But it was such a huge achievement. When you're told your whole life, if you share your story, we're going to kill you over and over and over again. There's nothing you can do. If you get the story out, if you tell someone that we're going to kill them too. But that was what was told to me. So this
Yeah.
is a big
Yeah.
achievement. I couldn't write this myself. Jackie Goldman wrote this for me because they had tortured me so much. Don't ever share your story. Don't ever share your story. But we did it. We got it. It's out. Read the reviews on Amazon for yourself. Now with AI, people don't believe anything you hear. Don't believe anything you see. Use your senses, your hearing, your vision. Use all your senses. And because there's so much bullshit out there right now, don't even believe me, people. But I
Yeah.
have no reason to lie to you. I'm just trying to help you and help our country and people around the world. That's what I want. I want all this evil to stop. So you believe me for that? That's wonderful.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you again for John, for your persistence, of course, your time today. Just, and for those that are watching, just for helping get the story out, it's working, right? Do you see that? Do you feel the momentum? It's building. It's very exciting.
I've seen a
Excellent.
lot of new faces in the comments, and I really appreciate you guys. This is me. That little doll is me. If you see the resemblance, um, it's not the John the whole world knew. And
Yep.
to me, that's pretty much proof right there, along with all the other proof that I got that people are blind to see. The DNA is in my blood. They don't want you to know what my blood is all about. So instead of harassing me about DNA, demand our government release my mother and father's DNA. Demand Congress to bring me to Congress so they can explain I am who I am. I have no problem with that. I don't want to spend the rest of my life in a court of law, though. I want to spend the rest of my life after this story gets out in a nice little cabin in the woods with a river and a fishing pole catching a trout.
It sounds amazing. The simple life. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you, John, for what you've done. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, Lions. You all are so, so wonderful. Shannon, get to work. Quit making John Kennedy Jr. videos. We love you. All love.
Thanks again, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sister. Have a wonderful,
Bye-bye.
blessed day.
Thank you. You too.